Wow, such an awesome privilege to be present with you this evening. Thank you all for locking in for this another affiliates training and development. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Jamaica time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to everybody present this evening. Of course, being here to share this training session with my fellow business partners is something that I look forward to every single Monday. Of course, when we get here, I do believe that we all add value to each other's life, and so as a result of that, that's what really propels me to be present on these training sessions. Welcome to everyone. I trust that everyone had a fantastic day. This morning we were empowered at our morning coffee and tea session. Lady Aisha spoke, and for that, we are ever so grateful for her sharing her wisdom with us as she continued to do. Now, let me see who we have present with us this evening. We have some very, very important people so far. 15 important people. Jeru, welcome Jeru. Welcome Lady Okimo. Sir Clinton Daly, welcome. Vida Money, good to see you. Jennifer, Simone, Jasmine, Tamara, Lady Aisha Queen, Jade Affiliate, Petra, Tara, Wendell, Charmaine Barnes, Hazel, and of course Tammy. These are the people that are present with us this evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are part of a great company, Vida, Divina, and we have been hearing a lot about, the success that this company has been, bringing to the lives of people all across the globe. And we have heard, from time to time, we have had conversations in some cases, we have even met in some cases the man behind the vision, Mr. Armand Puyolt. But what do we really know about Mr. Armand Puyolt? In the presentation, from time to time, we talk about his rags to riches story. Right? From time to time, we talk about, some of the challenges that he encountered with his health when we are presenting the opportunity. But what do we really know about this man? What is his vision for this company? What would have led to him, building such an empire that we can all be benefiting in one way or the other? What are some of those tools that he would have, implemented and introduced to us that we have at our disposal that we can actually use to build a solid network marketing business? What is the mindset? What is it that drives Mr. Armand Puyolt? What was his family life like? All these things are questions that I'm sure, affiliates may ask from time to time. And so this evening we want to take the time out just to, get an appreciation of the man behind this great vision, Mr. Armand Puyolt. So this evening we're going to lock ourselves in, with our pens and our papers, because of course, when Mr. Armand Puyolt speaks, there's always value in what he has to say. There's always a nugget or two that we can take away and implement in our daily lives to make our business better, to make our lives better, to make our families better, to make our countries better, And so this evening it is indeed my pleasure to welcome to this platform our CEO and our founder, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Of course, we know Mr. Armand Puyolt from, Vida Divina as somebody who is very zealous and passionate about improving humanity as a whole. And that is something that I'm sure many of you here will share that same perspective as well. You want to improve humanity. You may not be using Vida in the most wholesome way to improve humanity, but in your own little circle, you know, you are seeking to improve humanity and you have a passion for that. Well, this evening we're going to sit and listen to Mr. Armand Puyolt share his remarkable story, yes, this evening, as to what drives him, what propels him, what would have led to him becoming a network marketer, you know, and how he sees network marketing and particularly Vida Divina changing the landscape and changing lives all across the globe. I encourage each and every person here present this evening to make sure you have a little notepad, you know, make sure you have something to take some notes, because I'm telling you, when Mr. Armand Puyolt speaks, there is always value in what he says. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's make up Mr. Armand Puyolt. This is an interview that was done in 2016 with Sir Eric Worre. Please sit tight and lock yourself into this interview. Thank you very much.
Pro, my name is Eric Worre, and today I'm here with my friend Armand Puyolt.
How are you, Eric?
How are you?
Phenomenal.
Thank you for coming to town.
Super. Thank you for the invitation. I really do appreciate it.
You drove over from Los Angeles?
Definitely.
Very nice.
Anything for you guys.
Very nice. I got an opportunity to meet this guy this last year. We've known of each other for some time, but finally got a chance to hang out a little bit, hear a little bit of his story, see what he's doing, and so we just decided, hey, we should have an interview. Also, at Network Marketing Pro, we know we're far behind the curve when it comes to serving our Latin community.
Definitely.
You know, throughout North America, Central America, South America, we're not doing as good of a job as we need to do, and we have a big commitment to improve that over the course of this next year, and I think you can help us.
Phenomenal. I would love to help to really do that.
To do that. Why don't you talk, as we start, why don't you talk to people about, you know, where did you grow up? What's your story? Where did you come from?
Well, basically, you know, I grew up with a single mom, right? And with dads on the weekend, you know, type of deal. You know, and one of the things that happened, especially with my life, is that I ended up going to his truck, lunch truck, or road coach, whatever you guys like to call it, and work with him. And I used to love that to do, you know, just to.
Where was this?
It was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So he was one of these original guys that was out there, you know, cooking food for these companies out there. And we used to love to go out there with him, spend some time. And I was to the point that I was even charging people, and, you know, I was giving them the right change and everything. There was no computers back then, so everything was calculated in your brain, right? And I really loved the sense of business from that point. And like, I know a lot of people love baseball, a lot of people love football, and a lot of people love, you know, all these sports out there. This is my sport, you know, and when business, you know, I figured that business was my sport, I just stuck to that really hard.
Now, did you think that way through school also? When did you start doing this, to get this business mindset? How old were you?
Look, during school, obviously I was living with my mom. She was not she didn't have that much money. I mean, we were going through homes. Sometimes we lost a home. Sometimes we were kicked out of an apartment. It was a very hard time. Sure. Definitely. And to help her, sometimes I used to go out there and try to find something to do. One of the things that I did was, I was that guy at the high school with, you know, instead of a backpack full of, you know, books, it was full of candy. And I was like hawking candy everywhere else, you know, and I was selling it. I was like, I think I was making more money than the drug dealers, right? But, you know, so I started making a lot of money. People used to know me as, you know, the guy who just always made some money here and there, and, you know, had the car, and you know, I started really growing in that area. So, you know, when network marketing came to me, basically it was one of these situations. It was funny because somebody invited my mom to a home party, and when I showed up to this home party and I looked at all her friends buying the stuff, I was like, you know what? I need that stuff to sell it to them without knowing what network marketing was really. So what I did was this, you know, I was looking for this company, I looked for the company, and then until I found this company, I figured out what the company was, and basically got in. But you know, with and I want to retract a little bit. You know, when people invite you to a company and they say you got to recruit you. To me, that was absurd at that time. I was like, what recruit? What do you mean sponsor me? What? So to me, I was trying to find the wholesaler. And I was looking for that whole so I found somebody who actually explained it to me. I got in. And
so you're trying to get to the source.
Exactly.
You didn't want to have a middleman.
No, I didn't want that middleman, right? So I got this product, and I started selling it, but I basically did this. I never knew network marketing. I never did network marketing. As a matter of fact, this company was a step to learn what network marketing was for me, because what I did was I took this product and I hired. Now, I didn't recruit no one. I hired a lot of kids from my school with the school jerseys and the jackets and everything. And we went door to door. And basically everybody thought we were selling chocolate or something for the school, but this product we were just hawking it every door. Everybody was buying something. So I kind of got to the top of the ranks there in sales, not in the network marketing sense, but in the sales wise. And people were trying to figure out, how is he selling so much product? As a matter of fact, a lot of people at my age, because I was 16, people thought that maybe it was my mom selling the product, and they were usually using my social or something, to do the business. So when that happened, and I went to this regional event where they talked about, they put me on stage and everything, it kind of had this one cold feeling where you didn't belong in that room, because everybody's looking at you like you're doing it wrong, but how are you being successful? And I kind of got off the stage and just headed right out of the room. And I just went as far as I could, and just sat down.
So you're just going on pure passion and hustle.
Definitely. That's all I do.
You just said, like, hey, this is a product, I can sell it. I'll come up with my own little plan to sell it.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that these people already had a structure.
Definitely. No, I was building my own business.
Right. So you had a bit. They were just a product supplier for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So you're getting recognized for stuff you didn't even understand what you're getting recognized for.
Well, I didn't even know why I was there. And to get the reception.
Was your mom involved?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. But every time, when I got into the stage, right, and they were doing the recognition, and I'm telling them my story, how I did this. One of the things that I noticed was that I got this cold feeling from the room.
They were like, oh, you're going door to door? Ooh.
No, it was like deers and headlights, man. People were looking at me, and it says like, oh my God, this is not for me. So I was very upset at myself being on stage, and that to the point that, and I was very angry or didn't feel welcome in there. Yeah, so much. And I just, as soon as I finished, I just walked out and went right out of that room. And I went so far to sit down at this little coffee shop that was not even coffee, it was a coffee kiosk, right? And then I sat down at this table, and one of the gentlemen that was one of the husbands of one of the wives who really was the big ranks in that company walked up to me and said, you know what you're doing is all correct, but what you're missing out is residual income. And you need to learn a little thing. And so he started explaining to me all this stuff, and that's how network marketing started really clicking into my head and what it was.
So he explained it to you, but you didn't turn it into the big money until later on in life.
It took me a couple of years right after he told me that. It just clicked. I kind of turned it into, I went to a great company with him. And because I followed him. After that, I didn't want to do nothing with that other company because of the way I felt. And when I went with this gentleman, we went into another company that was launching, and we had very good success after that, about a few years there. Unfortunately, the government, deregulation happened, and we're forced to scatter and look for something else, unfortunately, at that time. But after that, we've had good success. And, I think I'm one of the lucky ones. And when I say luck, is because I think I was put in the right place with the right people who taught me the right things. Because I see a lot of network marketing right now, and a lot of people in network marketing that are just told the wrong deal, the wrong steps to take. They're coached wrong into building really good residual, real good income. And I was so lucky to be put into a place where people actually knew what they were doing, and they were teaching me the right steps, and they were moving, and I was just absorbing everything, and I think that's what led to my success here in network marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've had an explosion of growth recently.
Definitely. Our company just hit over $100 million in sales in a year, so I think that is just phenomenal. So we're doing very well.
And your growth has grown far over $1 million a year.
Definitely.
And you're helping a lot of people all around the world.
Yes, sir.
You expanded your business into the Hispanic marketplace dramatically, right? What percentage of your organization do you think?
I think 90% of our business is in the Hispanic area, and it wasn't calculated that way. I mean,
right.
It was not my strategy. As a matter of fact, I started in the United States and moving really strongly, but the leadership that I brought along from, that I brought along from other companies, they were Hispanic, first of all, and it kind of led into that market, just organically. And it was pretty awesome when you walk into an area, and not only that, I fell in love with the idea, because in the Hispanic market, this is what happens. In the English market, people have jobs, most of them, and where you're trying to give them their part-time job. So they never have enough time to do their part-time job, which is network marketing. So a lot of people are not that successful at it because of that. In the Hispanic area, if you get somebody to earn just $100, that's more than most of their paychecks. And to make
it depends on which country, right?
Definitely, it depends on what countries. But some countries, some of their paychecks are within $50 to $200, a month.
Yeah.
It all depends on where. So if you're getting them to make $100 a week, they're full time. And they're full time. They're really pushing. They're really pushing hard. So I got all these people that are really, they're hardcore, and they're MLM on spirit, and they're learning. They're picking up the books. They're doing everything as possible to really convert to what network marketing is around the world. So,
what do you think? What other differences are there between the Hispanic marketplace and the English marketplace?
I think in the Hispanic market, a lot of people, the difference between Hispanics, in my perspective, is that they're all hearts. They're in it for for the love. They're in it to not only for what their wealth can change. Obviously, everybody's in for their wealth or whatever they can do, but they're in it to help their fellow man. They're really there to, they see somebody, they have a passion for what they're doing, and it's just phenomenal the way you see people work. In the English market, everybody is very, I think that everybody's been burnt a lot in the English market.
A little more cynical.
So a lot of people are more, they're more passive. They start thinking a little bit more. Is this true? Can this be right? Can this work? And they want to see it work before they jump in. And it's a totally different attitude to that. Where in the Hispanic market, where you say, look, can you sell this one item? Yes. You sold it? All right. You made this much money. Wow, I'm in. And that's it. And that's all people need to know. They really don't have to teach them binaries or unilevels or matrices.
Stuff, yeah.
No, they're just like, well, how much do I make selling this stuff? And from there, we can teach them the rest.
It comes from product passion, one.
Definitely.
And selling, two.
Definitely.
And then growing the network.
Well, I have a recruiting 5 steps that I show people how to do, and this is the way I teach people. Is basically, I said, number 1, you need to have product with you. Number 2, you need a prospect. And when I talk about prospect, is you got to go find people to tell you no. You got to find people all around the world to, it doesn't matter who you're talking to, but you got to move some product. And then number 3, you got to follow up with these people. After you start following up with the people, you figure out where they're at, and then you start sorting them, which is number 4. What I mean by sorting is who's the customer, who's the distributor. Not everybody's going to be a distributor. And if we have that mentality where we says, look, less than 5% of the people you're going to touch are going to be distributors. And if you can get into the mindset of these people, and you can really learn how to sort these people out, you're going to be rich. It's just that simple. So I tell people, look, if you start sorting, just sorting alone, if you figure out which one's a customer, keep them as a customer. Don't force them into the business. I'd rather have a happy customer buying you every month product than having this really frustrated person because he can't make any money. And then hold the distributor that when it kind of now sort them again, because now I'm going to sort these distributors out where I'm going to sort them, do they want to make $100 a month? Or do they want to make, let's just say $100 a week or $500 a week? Or I want to put them in the bunch that wants to make, I want to sort them in, and I'm going to put them into groups of people where their income goal is at. For instance, if they want to make $500, I'll put them into that group. Work with these people because they're going to work at the same speed. You want to make $1 million? I'll put you with these people because they're going for it. They're working 24/7. That's what they want to do. I don't want to feel like you're being tugged. I don't want to feel like you're being pushed. I want you to be happy. I want to be content because the more people are content in this business, they're not feeling like it's another job. Guess what? They stay involved, and the more they stay involved, the bigger you grow.
Give me the 5 again.
The 5 is basically product. You need to have product no matter what product you sell. Number 2, you got to be prospecting. Number 3, you got to follow up with people. Number 4, you got to follow. You got to You got to sort through people. And number 5, you got to duplicate. And what I mean by duplicate out is that you got to get to the events. You got to make sure these people are showing up. They're learning everything else. They're learning the comp plan. They're learning, the system. They're learning to make sure they get to the conventions. They get to the anywhere where anybody's huddling at. They got to be there. And the more people you teach to put people together, guess what? The more you fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about how many people do you have in your group now, approximately?
Right now, we're over 500,000.
500,000 people on your team.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. So big group.
Yeah.
So what are some of the strategies that you've used outside of the 5? Okay, I know the 5 are central.
Yes.
What are the strategies that you've used to grow a team of that size?
Well, it's basically finding leadership. I think that's the big key of finding people who are willing to stand in front of the room, willing to really, control, and just showing leadership how to control larger groups, how to control groups that are, 20 plus people or, 100 people together, how to put them together, how to make them work together. And once we start finding these key leaders, then from there we start finding the B-class leaders, the people that just want to move 10, 20 people.
So of that leadership group, out of 500,000, how many leaders do you think you have?
I think we have
Top level.
The top level leadership. I think we have over 200 right now.
So let's say 200 people can influence 500,000.
Definitely so.
Okay. So you don't have to influence all 500,000. You just have to be connected with those 200.
Well,
so you're going to be sorting through all those people to see who identifies himself, who wants to step forward and be a strong leader.
Definitely.
Then work with those people, develop their skills, and then you say you start looking for the second level leader to see if you can, who's in the farm team that you can bring up.
Definitely. It's almost, we kind of move it like a ball club. And it's kind of use that type of style. We bring up the key leaders, the people
who are really, those are the pros.
The ones who want it, and you can see it in their eyes. You can see the saliva coming out of their mouth. They're hungry for it. And what I mean by hungry for it is that they're willing to do the work that needs to be done. One of the worst concepts about network marketing is that it's no work. And it's a shame because it really destroys a lot of views of a lot of people around the world, because a lot of people get told you don't need to recruit anybody, or you don't need to sell, and that's another one, or you don't need to do this or do that. And if we just told people right on, guess what? If you have to build, you want to build $1 million a year in your group, you got to get to work. You got to really
push
people.
Not a bad thing.
No, and you got to really.
Easy.
You got to forget about sleeping.
Stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, you got to move as much product along as you can. And one of the key factors in network marketing that people don't understand also is that people avoid the sales part. And I think that's a major part, because
why are people so afraid of selling?
I think
they're like, no, this isn't selling, it's sharing.
Because everybody has a bad concept, I think, of becoming a salesman. And I tell people, look, I don't care if you're recruiting. If you're trying to sell them the big pack or the small pack in your company, you're selling it.
Of course.
And if you don't learn,
you're selling your kids on eating their vegetables. You're selling somebody to brush their teeth. I mean,
definitely, everything's about sales.
Yeah.
So the more we teach people and how to really close people with these sales, the better they're going to get.
Right.
And that's basically the teachings that we try to teach all the distributors and the leadership every single day, is that, guess what? Focus on growing your business. Because if you didn't have sales, if you just bought a franchise at McDonald's, for example, one of these old Subway franchise, and you'd have no people, nobody coming in, you know what? Every single distributor is coming in is considered a franchise to me. But if each franchise doesn't have a customer base coming in, guess what? They're not lasting long.
Right.
It's just that simple. Right. You need to get out there with the sign and the monkey suit, trying to get people in the room. But as much as you have to do that.
How do you stay in communication with such a large group?
I try to focus in the leadership only. I try to focus in really.
So it's still back to those 200.
Definitely. I try to connect with everybody using Facebook. One great example. I try to focus with everybody using a webinar a week. But yet, really the strong focus is touching the main core of leadership. And if we can touch the main core, guess what? And they can spread the news very quickly, we're done.
How do you stay in communication and keep all those 200 people on the same page?
Well, what we do is basically, have these webinars where we sit people down and we tell them what the focus is on, and we make them part of the deal. We make him part of the, it's not just my idea. Exactly. It's not Armand's idea what we're going to do. It's, well, what do you think we should be doing? And we get everybody involved in this. It's almost like a boardroom. And whatever everybody likes, everybody votes, let's go. Let's do. Definitely.
Are events an important part of your culture?
Definitely. Events are, I think,
what's bigger? The big company convention, the local regional event, or the home event?
I think the regional events are, the priority to get people to. I think these are...
Your local cities, they happen once a month or something?
Well, not every once a month or once every 3 months, but especially in the Latin community, they need to see the growth. And the more people you can fit in the room for a Super Saturday, for example.
So social proof is important.
Oh, definitely. The more people see it, and if you can't fit people in the room, if I'm going to have, for instance, an event, and I know I'm going to get 1,000 people in, I'll get a room for 800. I want people waiting outside and not being able to come in. If I know I can get 2,000 people in the room, I'll definitely have a room for 1,500 because I want people to be sitting outside saying I couldn't fit. And to me, that news of that says my God, we couldn't fit people in the room. They were standing. It was hot. I mean, it was the AC couldn't keep up with as many people that are here. Everybody was jumping up and down. Guess what? That's what it's about.
It spreads the word.
Oh yeah. It spreads it very quickly.
So you think that's probably the biggest, and then after that, company convention.
The convention, recognition is a very key point. When people walking by with their rings or their checks, or even though just their pins. When people are showing up and they just hit the first rank. Guess what? That is the most motivating thing. People have to understand that most people, in my philosophy, most people have never been recognized for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And when they get just a minor thing, I mean, I was growing up, just my example, I was the big brother. I was the one babysitting my younger brother. I was dad, and he was only 2 years younger than me. So everything he did was marvelous. Everything I did was wrong, right, at that point, But, I would have loved somebody to tell me, hey, great job. What, you took care of him. Good. Thank you, you made dinner, I know she was tired. I know that she didn't mean not to do it. Right. But a lot of people live through this. So even just getting a simple pin at the first rank, guess what? That's going to motivate your team faster than you can ever reach. Yeah. And guess what? The more we do that to people and recognize their work. As a matter of fact, every time people walk in, I do recommend everybody in network marketing, if you're a leader, when you walk in a room, say, good job. You know what? Thank you for what you're doing. I do appreciate what you're doing. And the more you tell that to people, they feel like, oh my God, you noticed. Thank you. And they start working harder.
One thing that kind of, it's a hidden thing that the top earners always do.
Yeah.
Every time they come into contact with somebody, they find a way to compliment them.
Definitely.
Their top earners are complimenting machines.
You have to be.
They're like, oh, wow, look at those shoes. Hey, look at that smile. Hey, this guy's a star. Man, the energy's unbelievable. Whatever it happens to be. The first thing comes out of their mouth to prospects is a compliment.
Definitely.
And it's sincere. It's not just a flattery thing.
No, it has to be.
Because part of their nature is to build people up.
I think it is a part of the culture we build, especially as leadership. And that's one of the reasons that I love your events, because every time I've watched it before, via online and then, or video and then being there live, when you get to my level, where I'm at in the company, on top of the company, and I'm the first distributor, and you have no one to really talk about different situations that you get into, right? And it's beautiful to get friends that are in the same situation in different other companies where you can literally call up and ask and say, what happened when you reached this and this happened to you, or what this issue happened with your distributors, and what when you have that kind of base also. That's phenomenal. That's why I really support what you're doing, because I think a lot of people need to see that it's not about the companies. This is an industry. Right. And the industry is about people. Yeah. And that's what we need to show.
Recognition, support, complimenting, having each other's back, camaraderie.
Definitely.
The personal. How important is personal growth?
Definitely.
Inside of your culture, inside of your organization.
It's important because, personal growth is first of all, I try to teach people at the very beginning as they're coming in to get into a little small system, like the 5 steps, for instance. Just like McDonald's tries to show you how to make a cheeseburger, right? You put the bun, you put this, you put the done, wrap it up, let's go. So they know what they're doing right away. After that, you try to get them to learn a little bit better. Most of these people, especially in the Latin community, or even here in the United States, a lot of people have not had the schooling. Mm-hmm. Even just a regular schooling, most of them have not even graduated high school, and now you bring them in and you show them these steps. They're hungry to learn. Mm-hmm. A lot of these guys, especially in Latin America, they didn't go to school because they weren't smart. They didn't go to school because they couldn't afford it. Well, they had to work, or they had to do something else. But everybody was hungry to learn something. And if you can teach them the art of what is self-development, man, it's just a change in the world for them. Yeah. And some people, I believe this, people are in network marketing. If they're not here for the money, which is the minimal part, unbelievable. Most people are here for the self-development because they know what they're going to learn. They feel good. It's almost like going
involved in network marketing just to get around a positive group of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to change the people they're hanging out with. Instead of a negative environment, they're in a positive one, and everything else is a bonus.
One of the times that I was, I stepped away from network marketing for a short period of time, and I didn't want to go back into network marketing. But what drew me back was being with the people. Mm-hmm. Stepping in, and I just had to go back in front of the room because I loved, spending nights, on Thursdays, Tuesdays. Some people don't understand this, but network marketing is not about the product. To me, the network marketing is not about the money. To me, it's about the people. Mm-hmm. And when you're with people, then you see them change. You see them smile. You see them thanking you. You know what? To me, that feels. And that's what it's about. It's about feeling. It's not even about the money no more. It's about how many people we can change. If I had to pass away, if for God forbid that something happened to me on the road, right? I don't want my legacy to be how much money I made in network marketing, because I know, if somebody says, hey, this guy made 10 million, 12 million, 13 million, 14 million a year, guess what? It's chump change compared to what Bill Gates is doing. Mm-hmm. So you're down there. But if we can show that your legacy is going to be how many people we can help and how many people we can change their lives. And I'm not talking about making them millionaires. It's just paying their bills, making sure they can put food on the table for their kids, making sure they can do something more in their lives. We're done. I mean, I that's what I want. And that's what I want to be recognized as the person who changed the most lives in this world. And that's where we're at. I mean, my wife laughs at me and says, you know what, you think you're Mother Teresa of network marketing? I goes, no, but you know what, I have a calling for this. And I think that's what we're at for, and that's what we're pushing for. So, I mean, that's one of the big reasons we're going to bring a huge group now from this period on to the Network Marketing Pro events. And I'm going to I'm going to fill the rooms, and the reason is that people have to see that part. Yeah. Unfortunately, in regular network marketing, in the regular conventions, you get just the business, but nobody sees the industry. Mm-hmm. And when you see events like yours, one of the things that I love is that you see the industry, and guess what? We're all the same. Mm-hmm. No matter what company you're at, nobody's fighting.
Dreams,
exactly.
Same
Nobody's
basic skills.
Fighting in that room. Nobody's wearing their pins. Everybody's hugging each other. They know each other from Facebook. You know what? It's like Facebook exploded in live, right? And when you're sitting there and you're hugging, you're taking these shots, and and you're loving it. I have friends from all parts of the world in different companies, and when you can really do that without having the fear that, hey, you know what, if I take a picture with Eric Worre, am I going to have my check cut? Right. You know what, that's not what it should be. It should be the industry, right, and the industry as a whole.
Right.
So,
you talked a little bit about legacy. Talk about what makes you different. What makes you different? You just as an individual. What makes you a better leader? What makes you more successful than somebody else who joined the same time you did, or around the same time you did, and hasn't had the same kind of success? What do you do different? What makes you, what kind of separates you from the crowd?
I think what separates me a lot from the crowd is that, like I said, I came in when I was 16. I think I was very young, and I was very able to absorb a lot of the information very quickly. And like I told you before, I was put with the right people, and I was listening a lot to Jim Rohn, and a lot to these great mentors that are all over the the internet now, and I remember just listening to some tapes and picking some information, because I was never able to see him live at those points. But guess what? It was like I was there every single time. And when you pick up these little tips on how to do the business, it makes you different than everybody else. Because now, unfortunately, with big network marketing, so all these people now have these systems. And I believe these just systems, and not to offend anybody, but I see a lot of these systems as they're like copycat systems. They just change the product, they change the name, they change, it was all the Amway system from many moons ago, or the Herbalife system that we're using, and all of a sudden, guess what? It's not working for their company because it was not designed for their company. Mm-hmm. Not that the system is bad; it's not designed for their company. But when you bring in the passion, and you go down to phase one in network marketing, where you're out there every single day. And one of the things we do, and even my wife and I still do, we still prospect every single day. We still recruit every single day. It doesn't matter how much money we're making. It's about really showing people that if you're going to teach people to do a whole meeting, you have to have a whole meeting. Mm-hmm. If you're going to teach people to have a Thursday night meeting, you have to have a Thursday night meeting. If you're going to teach people to do something, you better make sure people are seeing you do it too. And if you can show them that, hey, I'm doing it, you should too. This is how we make the money. Guess what? People are duplicating you.
Yeah. Do this for me.
Definitely.
I'd like you to look into this camera, and I'd like you to act as if you're talking directly to one person. That person wants to have success. They want it so bad they can taste it. They don't quite know how to get there. They're maybe a little bit nervous or self-conscious. They feel a little bit insecure about their skills or their abilities. What advice would you have for them to succeed in our profession?
Well, this is one thing. Let's just talk about Joe. Let's just say it's Joe. Joe, I know you're having a lot of issues and a lot of problems, especially with network marketing. You're looking at it, you're not having any success. But first of all, you have to think and you have to look in the mirror and see where you really want to get to. I want to tell you one thing, that if you look at yourself, what do you see? Do you see yourself as $1 million earner? Do you see yourself as a $1,000 earner? Where do you see yourself at? After you look at that, and you look at yourself and you get to believe it, now repeat it. And when you repeat it and you start repeating it all the time and all the time, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be this. And you get yourself to believe it, because the mind does one thing, Joe. One of the things that it does is that, it convinces you. That's why these con artists out there, they believe so well in different things that they are, right? And that they can fool other people with. You have to fool yourself into the point that you are a professional, because you become that professional. Now you become the professional so fast that, you're going to start shaking hands in that manner, and you're going to start building. Now, one of the things I need you to do, Joe, is start going out there and looking for people. The key to this business is looking for people for your business. So I don't want you to go out there right away and look at your list. Leave your list a little on the side for it. I want you to go out there and talk to people, practice. Nobody here becomes a chef in the first day. First time you cook, it becomes this plate that you may not even eat yourself. And then from there, you start cooking a little bit better. Your recipe gets better. You start getting a lot better at what you do, and everybody wants it. So we're going to start practicing what you're doing. You're going to start practicing your art of becoming a person that attracts people. And the more we talk to people, the better it's going to get. Now, let me just tell you this. In network marketing, the more people you touch, the bigger you'll get. It doesn't matter if they tell you no or they tell you yes. The more people you get, the more people you touch, the more people you speak to, the ratio is that you're going to get at least 10% of those. If you're getting 10% of everybody you talk, how many people do you need to speak to every day to get the income that you want to reach? The more and more people that you touch, the better you will get. Look, this is one thing that I did. When I was starting this company, my goal was 100 products a day. I would not go home without moving 100 products a day. And I would go door to door. I would go to flea markets. I would go anywhere I needed to go where there was a lot of people. And I would move 100 products a day. If not, I would not go home. That was the deal. And we started doing that so well that we started are growing our income very fast. We start growing our distributor base very quickly. We start growing our people very quickly. And the more you do that, the better you'll get.
Now do me one more favor.
Sure.
And for the English-speaking people listening, you're going to have to forgive us for a moment. Do that same thing, but in Spanish.
Definitely. Para todos que están allá afuera, amigos míos, aquí estamos para ayudarlos a crecer. Una de las cosas que quiero que cada uno de ustedes entiendan, que si ustedes quieren crecer en network marketing, tienen que ir a prospectar, salir afuera a buscar gente. Cada vez que ustedes salen a buscar gente, amigos míos, no importa si les dicen no o sí en el transcurso, cuando están buscando, la mayoría de gente tienes que pensarlo así, el 10% se va a quedar. Te va a comprar producto, va a estar dentro de tu red. Si cada uno de ustedes, amigos míos, siguen buscando gente, cada vez, ¿sabes qué? Más vas a crecer. Al principio, cuando yo comencé esta empresa donde estoy yo, nosotros movíamos 100 productos al día entre mi esposa y yo, si no, nos regresamos a casa. 100 productos al día, 100 productos al día, 100 productos al día. Ese es el método donde agarramos una base de clientes, una base de distribuidores, una base de muchas cosas. Y una de las cosas, amigos míos, que quiero que ustedes no reconozcan, es que lo más que con la gente que tú hables, lo más que vas a crecer. Entonces, depende de ti cuánto quieres crecer tú. ¿Estás listo para hacer algo grande? Prospecta, prospecta, prospecta. ¿Te gusta la idea?
You said that faster.
I'm very good at Spanish.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Armand.
No, thank you for the invitation.
I appreciate it very much, and I hope you got value from this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did get value, pass this forward to somebody that you think would benefit from listening to it. Share it with a friend. Like, comment, push it around the world. Together we're doing important work. Ladies and gentlemen, our wish for all of you is that you do decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we do have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everyone have an amazing day. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen of the Vida Divina family, that's our CEO, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Let me see you throw some number 7s in the chat. If you're a female and you want to play some heart emojis, feel free to express yourself, considering the value that Mr. Puyolt would have just deposited in our lives. Some very, very important bits of and nuggets would have been shared by Mr. Armand Puyolt. He specifically looked at Christopher and he said, listen, if you're not having success, Christopher, what are you going to do? Look in the mirror. Type the word mirror in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Very important. You see, from time to time, it's always easier to blame the person on the left. It's always easier to blame the person on the right. But it's always very difficult for us to really take stock of ourselves and to look at the man in the mirror and realize that it begins and ends with the man in the mirror. Again, the word mirror. Please to populate the chat with the word mirror. Very, very important. Coming from our CEO, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Many powerful things were said, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here that these things would have resonated with. I'm sure there are people here right now that are chomping at the bit to have a conversation based on that which was shared. You don't have to let me call on you this evening. Just raise your hand if you are so led to share, your personal takeaway from the conversation Mr. Eric Worre had with our CEO, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Just raise your hand and I'm more than happy to unmute you for you to join the conversation. In the meantime, let me continue to share my takeaway. Mr. Puyolt reminded us this evening that if we are going to enjoy the success that we claim is our birthright, one is not just to sell the products, but a passion to touch the lives of people. Let me see you type the word passion in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see you type the word passion in the chat. The gentleman is saying that the passion can't just be about the money that you earn from this business. It can't just be about the products that you're going to get into the hands of people. But what is important, and you should always be your focus, is that you must understand that the world is a global village. We live in a global village, and the more people we touch, then of course the end result can be a lot better for our business. He emphasized, Tiffany, the essence of the 5 steps to success. The 5 steps to success that we have been teaching here. This is the book that Mr. Puyolt has written. Very, very powerful book produced by him. If you have not yet gotten the book, make sure to go to the back office. It's there. It's called the MLM Guru, Armand Puyolt's Proven Strategies for Success in the Network Marketing Profession. Lady Tiffany is saying that, Christopher, I'd love to say something. Let me unmute you, Lady Tiffany, for you to, say your piece. Where are you? Tiffany it is. Yes, Tiffany Tally. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those 5 steps to success, very, very important to our success in this profession called network marketing, and particular to our business, the Vida Divina business. Lady Tiffany, good evening, ma'am. Welcome to the platform. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. What are your thoughts?
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Man, I am super hyped after hearing his conversation. He made it so personable and just a humble, regular guy. And his story is amazing. Just from where he pulled himself from at the age of 16 up until now. And just the fact that his general passion is pretty much the same as all of us. We want to help people. And that was where his heart was. And that is so inspiring to me. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, it's just a humble guy. He made it seem real, like it's possible for anyone. He can do it. Anybody can do it.
Absolutely, Lady Tiffany. Let me affirm those words emanating so gracefully from your lips. Of course, humility is indeed a very important attribute for us to display. And of course, Mr. Armand Puyolt is the epitome of humility in the network marketing profession. And that is always something that I glean from him, seeing how he rolls, see how he communicates. He's so easy to communicate with. He's not that leader where you have to break down walls to have a conversation with him. Once he said, listen, I'm available, then he's going to make himself available. And his story is a story for the century, I can tell you, a very powerful story. And as a result of his story, we are here benefiting from that this evening. Sir Bishop O'Neill Russell, thank you very much for joining us, sir. I am happy to have you with us this evening. Your hand is raised, and so at this point in time, I'm asking you to unmute to share your thoughts with us. Bishop Russell.
Good night, Christopher. Good night to all persons in this group. Oh Lord Jesus, the presentation of the CEO was so massive. And I have to reiterate the concept of coming from an humble beginning to where he is today. And it tells me that if I only put my heart into what I do, not just to go there to say, okay, I need money from sales, but to go there and just say to somebody, this is what the product do to you. This is what how the product can help you. This is how the product can heal your body, change your lives. Then I am sure after listening to this here, it is saying, Bishop, your time. Get out there, start humble, and start. You don't have to throw a big thing in, but start humble, and humbleness will achieve your growth. That's what I think.
Very, very, very beautiful, Bishop O'Neill Russell. Thank you very much for chiming in with your 2 cents. Always appreciate hearing from you, sir. And yes, indeed, it is your time to conquer. It is your time to expand your reach. It is your time to touch more lives. There are so many people who you are preaching the gospel of salvation to right now, but they are hungry. There are people that you're preaching this gospel of salvation to, but they are unhealthy. You know, you have this great business that is so dynamic in that the products, oh my goodness gracious me, they work. Can I say it again? Yes, the Vida Divina products, they work. And then you have a compensation plan. I don't know if you were listening to that aspect of the conversation, but Mr. Armand Puyolt alluded to it indirectly because he spoke so eloquently about those copycat compensation plans coming from the Amway system or the system, and they weren't working for the companies who with them. But here is a man who is blessed with pure genius. He was able to create a compensation plan that is so unique that other people are trying to copy it, but they can't keep up with what Vida Divina has at the minute. You retail some products, 50% is yours. You enroll somebody new into the business, there's a 50% fast track bonus awaiting you. You get to the rank of silver and above, there's a 50% check match bonus awaiting you at your first generation, and multiple other percentages awaiting you as you go along. That's what Mr. Puyolt is saying indirectly, that what we have here is unique. Our 5 steps to success is unmatched in the industry. Our compensation plan is unmatched in the industry. Our mushroom-based products, they are unmatched in the industry. Why would I look left? Why would I look right? Why would I look behind me? Forward ever, backward never, the words of our great leader Michael Manley back in the past, yes, in the 70s, for those of you who are familiar with the Jamaican political sphere. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very powerful and inspiring presentation from the CEO, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Again, he made a valid point. He said, listen, multi-level marketing is about work. It's not a vacation spot you come. No. You're not coming here hoping to make some money. No. But guess what? If you work, if you get the work in, then guess what happens? Success will definitely be your birthright. If you see, there's a story in the Bible that resonates with me each time I read that story. And it's a story of the 5 talents. Yes? Or the 10 talents, however you look at it, right? So the story, you all know how that story is. The man that Jesus gave the 5 talents, he went out and he worked those talents. The man that got 2, he went out and he worked, he multiplied those talents. But the man who just got 1, you know, he went and he complained and he said, listen, you're a wicked man. You're expecting to reap where you did not sow. So many of us have that, you know, perspective of that man who got just the 1 talent. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why they say in this world, the rich will get richer, yes, because they network. They are looking always to work. They are looking always to do something to multiply what they have. While the poor, we sit and we complain about not having, or we find fault, you know, this person does that or that person. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this thing can work for us if we work it. Interestingly, one other thing that would have resonated with me from this conversation this evening that Mr. Puyolt had with Mr. Eric Worre is the importance, ladies and gentlemen, of us to recognize that we must be developing ourselves. Yes, Mr. Puyolt said that in the beginning, when he started, he was banking heavily on the expertise of people like Jim Rohn, you know, and many other motivational speakers and people who are in the business of helping us to develop ourselves. We have so many resources available at our disposal today that we can develop ourselves. We have these sessions that we have in the mornings, you know, 90 Days to Greatness, that we are doing, you know, so many powerful speakers are on, and they are sharing great great information, right? Of course, again, you have so many free resources available to you, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's a physical book. These things are available to us at this point in time. When you come to a Monday night training, you are getting value. That sometimes when I look at it, I feel as if, I should really start charging for the sessions that we do on a Monday night, because I guess if we were charging, then people would take it a lot more serious, But because it's free, then of course people believe that, hey, this is just a little willy-nilly thing that is taking place. No, this is valuable information that people are paying hundreds of thousands of US dollars for. So again, ladies and gentlemen, those are the things that resonated with me from the session. You heard from Tally, you heard from Bishop Russell. What about you? What is it that stood out for you in the presentation? Don't be afraid, guys, and raise your hand, and I'll be more than happy to unmute the mic, yes, so that you can have the conversation. You can share with us. There may have been something that he said that you alone heard. It resonated with you, but we didn't hear it. If you share it with us at this point in time, then of course we can say yes, of course, and take a note of it and implement it in our day. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to share when you come to a platform like this. In fact, when you come to these types of platform, this is where you get that learning. This is your preparation, so that when you go out there and you're talking to people, then guess what happened? It becomes easy. Another thing that stood out for me from this presentation is the fact that Mr. Armand Puyolt, when he just started Vida, you heard that he said? He said targets for himself. He would say, listen, if I don't sell 100 items per day, I am not going home. Think about that now. This is the CEO of the Vida, the Divina family, And when they just started out, remember now, they had no, loads of business partners joining the company and that type of thing. They started out small, like many other things that start out small but grow eventually. And guess what happened? He was out there in the streets. He was out there selling the products. Interestingly, Mr. Armand Puyolt also indicated that even to this very day, he's still recruiting new business partners. That's the CEO. That's the first enrollee in Vida Divina, and he's still recruiting today. Why is he doing that? He's doing that because guess what? This is what builds the business. This is what grows the business. And most importantly, he's seeking to impact as many lives as he possibly can. Lady Tamara, you sat, you listened, and of course, things would have resonated with you. What is your takeaway from this evening's presentation, Tamara? Talk to us.
Okay, good night. Good night, everyone. So what stood out most from his presentation to me tonight is the fact that he said that this business of network marketing is not so much about the money. It's not about the compensation plan. It is about people, the people that you are helping, the lives that you are touching and helping to change every day. And that's what is most important, because at the end of his tenure, he said he wouldn't even want to be remembered for the amount of money that he's making, but he wants to be remembered for the amount of lives that he has touched or helped to change.
Isn't that amazing? That is indeed amazing. Powerful Lady Tamara. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure that there are many people here who would not have heard that, but you're, sharing with us this evening. Just a reminder that, look, this man, Mr. Armand, this guy, ladies and gentlemen, is seeking to touch life because that is what he would like. That's his legacy. That's his legacy. His legacy is that, look, Christopher Thomas in Jamaica is able to impact a lot of people here in Jamaica because of him. Aisha Queen is able to impact a lot of people in Baltimore because of him. Don Rogers is able to impact lives in Anguilla and beyond because of Mr. Puyolt. Simone Williams can impact lives globally because of Mr. Armand Puyolt. Petra can impact lives globally, all because of Mr. Armand Puyolt. What a great, great leader we have this evening. And that is one of the things that continues to appeal to me where Vida Divina is concerned. The great leadership that we have through Mr. Armand Puyolt, the integrity on which he operates. If you notice, for example, you go to the back office today, there's no Tonkat alley yet, and people are asking, why is there no Tonkat alley in the back office? That is so because at Vida, if an ingredient is absent, if an ingredient is not available, can I tell you, the product will not be produced. In some other companies that has middlemen, the middlemen would still produce the product, but guess what happened? It would be a watered down product, and then guess what happened? You use the product, it doesn't have the same effect, and you say, hey, the product is not good. The company loses its reputation. Not Vida Divina. Before we put out a substandard product, we pull it from the market. That's what we're talking about, the integrity, the Christ-likeness on which this company is indeed established. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family, because I have you all on this platform this evening. Foes as well. I have to mention those because there are those who are present that are foes as well. I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us this evening on this another Monday night affiliate training and development. Thank you so much for participating in this discussion this evening with our CEO, Mr. Armand Puyolt. Most importantly, I always ask of us, it's good to be present. It's good to hear the information. It's good to even listen, which is more important than hearing. But what is most important is that we implement the things that are necessary to grow our business. Mr. Puyolt says he's still recruiting. What about you? Are you still recruiting? Mr. Puyolt said this is work. Do you still see this as work? Yes, it is work. Mr. Puyolt said, look here, have a passion. And guess what happened? Most importantly, look in the mirror, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you before, and I will tell you again, your success is not dependent on Mr. Armand Puyolt. Your success is not dependent on Christopher Thomas. Your success is not dependent on Albert Jeke. Your success is not dependent on your upline. Your success is dependent on the actions or lack thereof that you take on a daily basis. As you go to your bed tonight, ladies and gentlemen, look into the mirror. As you wake up in the morning, look into the mirror. As you go throughout the day, look into the mirror. Self-introspection. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. Have yourselves a fantastic, fantastic night of immeasurable success. Remember to join Lady Aisha Queen. I think she has a book meeting sometime this evening. I forget the name of the thing that she mentioned this morning. Aisha, maybe you could just drop it in the chat. And she has that after this meeting where people can be participated in that. But again, for those of you remember, tomorrow morning at 7:30 Jamaica time and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we go back to our 90 Day to Greatness inspirational coffee and tea session. Tomorrow morning I'll be on and I'll have something very, very, very special for you. If you miss tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you, you're going to miss something very special. Invite a few people to come along and to listen to the presentation. We are still on that particular trajectory, 90 Day to Greatness. Remember, whatever rank you have attained in this company, that was your highest rank. You're trying to achieve that again. And of course, you're also trying to surpass that. That's the objective of this particular 90 Day to Greatness run. Listen, guys, get your two people active. Get yourself active before the 7th, because when you're active before the 7th, remember, there's an extra 5% in binary commissions that is coming your way. Have yourselves a fantastic night of immeasurable success. God bless us all. Cheers. I'm out.